Hey, you see him? Don't play with that kid. You never know what he's gonna do.
Naruto walked through the streets of the Hidden Leaf Village, feeling the cold and distrustful stares of the villagers. People avoided him, looking away or whispering among themselves. He was already used to that feeling of exclusion, but that didn't make it any easier to bear. The reason for all this disdain was the fear they had of the Kyuubi sealed inside him. The smell of hot ramen lingered in the air as Naruto stopped in front of Ichiraku Ramen. His stomach growled loudly, reminding him of his hunger. He reached into his pocket, searching for some coins, but he didn't have enough to buy even a single bowl. Frustrated, he turned around and ran home. On the way, he ran into Sasuke. The other boy observed him for a moment, finding him strange but not giving it much thought. Sasuke overheard some adults talking about Naruto. Their hushed voices, full of insinuations, made it clear that they didn't see Naruto in a good light. One of them even suggested that he might have some connection to the death of the fourth Hokage. Naruto entered his home and threw himself onto the bed. The silence of the small apartment was suffocating. The weight of loneliness pressed against his chest, and tears began to stream down his face. As he sobbed, his stomach growled once more. Hunger wouldn't give him any rest. Determined, he got up and left his house. If he couldn't buy food, he would have to find some on his own. The forest seemed like the best option. Along the way, he decided to train a little. He picked up some stones and started throwing them at makeshift targets. The challenge brought a brief sense of fun. Between attempts, he found some mushrooms. He grabbed them, even though he wasn't sure if they were edible. Reaching the edge of a river, he began fishing, determined to secure at least one meal. The sky was already darkening when Naruto, sitting by a campfire, roasted the fish he had just caught. The smell of food brought a simple, yet powerful satisfaction. He took a bite, feeling the warmth and flavor that had seemed so out of reach just moments ago. Suddenly, an old man appeared nearby, startling him. The man looked at the roasting fish, and his stomach growled loudly. Naruto laughed at the coincidence, and the old man laughed along with him. Without hesitation, Naruto grabbed an extra fish and offered it to the stranger, who accepted it gratefully. As they ate, the old man looked up at the starry sky and told Naruto to do the same. In a calm voice, he said that, compared to the vast world, they were very small, just like the sorrows they carried. Naruto remained silent, absorbing those words. He then picked up the mushrooms and offered them to the old man. The man looked at them suspiciously, asking if they were edible. Naruto, unsure, simply smiled and replied that they would only find out after eating them. The next morning, Naruto was at the Hokage monument, resting and looking at the landscape. The old man's words still echoed in his mind. He thought about how immense the world was, and how small he himself was in comparison. If he was small, then his sorrows must be too. Overcome by an impulse, he decided to jump off the mountain in free fall. How did he survive? Perhaps no one will ever know. Who knows, maybe the flying Nimbus appeared to rescue him. Neji trained under the supervision of his father, Hisashi Hyuga. The precise flow of the Juken demonstrated the young boy's natural talent. When the training ended, Neji looked at his father with curiosity and asked about his uncle Hiyashi's child. Hisashi corrected him, explaining that it wasn't a boy but a girl named Hinata. He also informed him that the next day, she would turn 3 years old and that Neji would have the chance to meet her. The news sparked great excitement in the boy. The next morning, Neji saw Hinata for the first time. His eyes observed her attentively, and his reaction came spontaneously. She was very cute. Hisashi, noticing his son's enthusiasm, took the opportunity to tell him that his destiny would be to protect her, though he didn't go into detail about the reason. Later, inside the Hyuga clan's house, Neji and Hinata faced off in a friendly duel. Hiyashi Hyuga watched everything with a keen eye. Neji's strikes displayed exceptional strength and talent, impressing his uncle. Hinata tried to hold her ground, but the difference in skill between them was evident. In the end, Neji emerged victorious. After the fight, Hinata confessed that she didn't like training in taijutsu. Neji listened seriously and told her that, as the Hyuga clan's heir, training was essential. He encouraged her to have more confidence in herself. In a hesitant tone, Hinata admitted that she wished she could switch places with him because she believed Neji was stronger. His response was firm and direct. Neji scolded her, making it clear that she shouldn't think that way. Then, he promised to help her become stronger. With conviction, he assured her that if she were ever in danger, he would protect her with his own life. Time passed, and Neji faced the deepest pain of his life. His father, Hisashi, had died. During the funeral, grief consumed him. Tears streamed down his face as he remained motionless, unable to accept the loss. Not far away, Hinata watched him in silence. Her small steps hesitated as she tried to approach him. Before she could say anything, she stepped back and fled the scene. Hinata ran aimlessly until her exhausted body gave out. She collapsed to the ground, trying to catch her breath. A child's voice sounded nearby. Naruto Uzumaki approached, curious about the scene. His eyes studied her for a moment before asking what had happened. Without hesitation, he extended his hand and offered to take her back home. During the walk, he observed her in silence, and when they arrived, he asked why she was crying. With a smile on his face, he said that, unlike her, he had no one to return to, yet he still didn't cry. Without waiting for a response, he waved and walked away. Shortly after, Hiyashi Hyuga appeared. His expression carried disapproval. In a firm voice, he reprimanded Hinata for leaving the funeral at such a delicate moment. He reminded her that, as the future heir of the Hyuga clan, she needed to remain strong in situations like this. Naruto's words still echoed in her mind. Inspired by him, she stood firm, facing her father without shedding a single tear. And speaking of forgotten memories, Yoda went through something similar. His connection with Naruto and his friends was brief, but transformative. Click on the next video to discover how this story unfolded.